Yeah, that was fun.
By the grace of God and technology, here we are.
We done did it. Hold up, I'm making sure that we're live on. I think it's still loading in on the tubes. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't confirm. Hold on. So far, nothing. I don't know if it's still connecting or what. Can you see it on your end?
See the stream?
Yeah. Can you check?
Yeah.
Oh, it says live. Okay, cool. Cool. It just wasn't showing on my computer.
I do.
That's what's up.
I do want to pull it up though, because I'm kind of curious. Wow.
Sorry for that. Whoever's watching, that was my bad.
It's all good.
So what's up, brother? How was your weekend?
My weekend was interesting. Had a good weekend. Let me go over here and check out El Stream.
El stream.
El Stream.
Oh, man. All right, I gotta copy and paste the tab or the link over so I can share it.
I hear you. Oh, I cannot.
Alrighty. This dog is determined to make as much noise as possible. So if you hear any random banging or clanging, or he plays with two toys at a time. It's quite impressive, actually.
My dog has a big ass mouth, so she thinks that she can fit two toys in her mouth at the same time.
Is she a bulldog?
And no, she's a German Shepherd / Husky.
Yeah, now that you're saying that, I remember that, and that is a beautiful, beautiful puppy.
Yeah, man.
All dogs are puppies. I don't care how old they are.
I agree. Or how big they are.
Or how big they are, that's for sure. Cool. But yeah, man, speaking of dogs, I took them to a garden this weekend to go walking around in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty interesting.
What was that like?
It was like walking in a really big park with a bunch of flowers and dogs. It felt kind of weird though, because there was like normal people without dogs, and they were like, are you supposed to have those here? There's a lot of dogs here for a random day. And I'm like, yeah, it's dog day.
Yeah, it's dog day.
It was pretty fun though. But yeah, as a dog owner, it was really cool to like walk around the garden. They had basically a bunch of tulips. I don't know if they're like, that's all that's in season right now, but yeah, man.
I feel like if I was to bring my dog to a park, she would try to eat other dogs. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Mostly because she's like the neighborhood warden. So we have a backyard, and there's a gate. And the gate leads to the sidewalk where people walk their dogs. You know, it's a regular gate, neighborhood, right? She posts up right on our side of the gate inside the house, so that she can make it known to every passerby they are the enemy.
I mean, I get it. Most dogs are like, "Hey, stay out of my yard." If you ever watch like,
yeah, but
no, what were you gonna say? What?
I was gonna say, I mean, I respect that, but they don't even try to come in our yard. They walk in the street when they cross our house.
Oh my god!
And they're by our house because
people be wilding. I mean, dogs are crazy though. Like if you're not like a dog fan, I can get why dogs would be scary, especially if they're like snarling or barking really loud. It's terrifying. Yeah. I don't blame people, but I'm
more afraid of cats though.
Dude, cats are evil. I've had cats my whole life, and they're evil. I don't know why. They're just like...
You feel me? Like, okay. Tell me your theories as to why cats are evil.
Why do I think cats are evil? Is because I don't think they've... Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that they're as a... Well, they're not pack animals, number one. So they don't... They're in the wild, quote unquote. Like if you think of a tiger, I mean, tigers aren't roaming in packs of like 30, where dogs are. So... The whole family mentality is kind of foreign to them. One is evil, the other's nice. So, someone in the chat says that they have two cats and one is evil, the other's nice. Yeah, Coma. I actually have met nice cats. I've never owned one though.
The interesting thing is my dad's allergic to them, right? I'm not allergic, but everywhere we go together, cats jump on him. They're like his best friend, which kind of makes, which yeah, right. But the fact that he like can't whisper back is kind of funny because like we'll go places. We'll go places to like what's an example? My brother's girlfriend's house, right? Like we went there for the Super Bowl. She has two cats. A whole bunch of people are over, right? There's like one open chair. My dad spots it. My dad sits there. On his route to the chair, one of the cats jumps up on it and then looks at him like that. Like that. And it's like it just kind of stares him down, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And the cat looks at him like, I'm not moving.
You got a choice to make.
So, yeah, but it's interesting because like he befriends them, so it's not like he's angry at cats. He likes cats. It's just they just don't like. He don't like their fur. Let's put it that way.
Dude, I'm right there with him. I'm not a huge fan of the fur, but you know, you learn to live with it. It's kind of one of those things, but.
Do cats shed?
Oh hell yeah! Oh my god, yeah. Some more than others, but yes, absolutely they shed.
But I'm saying like they groom, they do the whole groom themselves thing.
Yeah. But they have litter boxes. There's a shit box in your house you have to live with. I'm not down with that.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Not a huge fan of the smell, but and the dust and all that. It's too much. I literally have to. I don't have a litter box. I have a bin. It's basically like a big plastic tote. A gallon, like a 50-gallon tote, like chest thing, and then we just cut a hole in the top, and then they jump into it, and we filled it with litter. That way, we're not changing out a tiny box; we're changing out a big ass tote. So it's almost like a chest. Like think of a treasure chest, but just fill it with shit sand.
That's kind of cool.
It was a solution to a cat that we got from where did we get it from? The pet supermarket for $5. I can't make this up. We got this cat for $5, and I was like, all right, I guess that's a good deal. I found out why it was $5 is because what they do is they capture the cats off the street, spay and neuter them, and then they just sell them.
So, okay, because I haven't ever run into a pet supermarket before, so I need you to elaborate on this concept.
All right, cool. So basically, anyone that's never seen a pet supermarket, it's basically it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like a small convenience store for pets that they sell like cats, dogs, lizards, and birds. It's actually pretty funny.
But like, okay, so what's an example? It'll be like a store where maybe they sell gerbils and mice and fish and things of this. Is it like that?
Exactly,
but just
like
with street. Okay, but just with street animals as well.
No, not necessarily street animals, just street cats. Just the cats. Like the lizards they get from like exotic places. The dogs, they have breeders that breed them. But no, the cats they're like, come here, cat.
I feel like, I mean, do people breed cats in the way they breed dogs? Like, oh, this that'd be funny as fuck though. Like, oh, this calico breed is like, you know, like a pit bull. Like, I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't go for it. Like, you just put them together and they'd be like, I'm not fucking. Like, I don't know what you think I'm doing, but I'm not doing that.
No, you're not doing that. But yeah.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna play this beat. And did you ever write anything on? I think you wrote some lyrics for this track that we were working on, right? The last one.
Yeah, I recorded some. I never bounced it out though. I don't think I ever sent it to you.
I don't think I ever heard it. I don't think I ever heard what you laid down officially.
Let me play the beat and make sure we're talking about the right one.
This one.
Yeah.
That one.
I love that shit.
So I remember you made it to Jesus Christ, talking's hard. Champagne. Remember we were talking about champagne?
Yeah,
I remember that.
yeah.
I don't know if you ever made it further than that.
I did not,
Okay.
but I can see if I can bounce that out to you if I have it.
Yeah, I would
Oh
love
wow.
to hear
Okay.
that.
No, why I just have. Sorry, streamers.
My wife's on her way back home, so hopefully I can get her to bring me a beer.
You said what?
Said my wife's on her way back home, so hopefully I can get her to bring me a beer. I have beer, but
cheers.
It's all, yeah. Well, it's empty, so I don't. Yeah. I want to train one of these dogs to go get one. That would be tight. I know that you can do that.
That would be tight as fuck.
I just don't know if I have the patience. Training dogs is hard. So anybody.
Wait, are you being like real serious right now? Or are you like halfway serious?
About training dogs being hard or training my dog to get me beer?
The latter.
No, I'm not gonna do it because it's so much. It requires so much. You have to teach it to You have to teach it to open the fridge, and then once you have it to open the fridge, you have to teach it to grab the beer. And each stage is like 3 steps. I'm actually training my dog right now in school, and when you train a dog, like the more complex you get, the more stages there are to a trick. So if the trick, sorry for yelling at the mic, Jesus. So if there's like a good amount of people that are. Jesus Christ, this dog is distracting as fuck. I gotta show him to people. Come here. Or, no? Okay. He doesn't want to be grabbed. Anyway, training dogs is hard. That's what I was trying to say.
You're not wrong. I mean, especially, I'm going to assume because it's a mix of so much, it's probably very stubborn. I could be wrong. That's
a great assumption. You'd be absolutely right in assuming that.
Okay. Because I feel like the more... I don't know. It's like a what's the human equivalent? Somebody who's in the army is used to following orders. I guess would be like the human equivalent, in that they're not going to be stubborn when it comes to. Grab your clothes. Wake up at this time. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's also 4 months old, so he's basically a child.
That doesn't help.
No. But it's great because he's impressionable, so I can impress upon him many things. Like my old dog, he is not interested in training. When I want to train him, and I'm like, "Hey, come here, I got treats." He's like, "I don't give a shit what you have." I'm like, "Why not?" And he's like, "Cause I've had many a treat in my life. I'm like 6 years old, man." This 4-month-old, I can be like, "Come here, I've got something in my hand," and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Nothing." He's like, "Hell yeah!"
Oh wow,
he loves it.
I think my dog is in the middle of that, bro. She's she's in dog years. She'd be 21.
So she's 7.
She's kind of like
3.
Right.
I can't. I don't,
no, 3. Sorry, she's 3. She's 3.
I got it backwards.
3. So basically, long story short. She's like a teenager as a dog. Like she'll go for something if she's entertained by it, but if it doesn't, I feel like if she could talk, she'd be like, I don't vibe with that.
I don't fuck with that.
You know?
It's not my vibe.
It's not my vibe, man. But
it's such a LA dog thing to say.
Right. That's what I was saying.
It's not my vibe.
I was having this conversation with someone like my friend and family. That would be hilarious, bro, if a dog could talk and it was like, vibe check.
Hey, vibe check. I mean, dogs are the ultimate at vibe checks. I mean, if you really think about it, if you go into a place, if you have a dog and a person that's kind of sketchy comes into your house and the dog starts acting a fool, that's why. It's like, yo, vibe check, man. I'm not with this. Cats are too. Any cat owners out there, I can attest to. Cats can catch on to vibes for sure, but dogs especially.
Yeah.
Well, there's different levels of intelligence with dogs. I find that there's some dogs that are like just like straight instinct. There's not much going on behind the eyes, if you get what I'm saying. And then there's other dogs that they're just like all mental, like they're basically a brain with fur.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I think pure breeds have less going on behind the eyes in general.
So you think the more mixed the dog, the more personality they have?
1000%.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can see that because they've been bred to be more engaging with humans the more that their like bloodlines cross. Because I mean, we started with.
I don't think it's.
But yeah, what do you
that's
think?
kind of what I'm getting at. Is like, I don't know if we had this talk before. I feel like we might have
The
vaguely.
first one that didn't get
Like,
streamed, but yes, we had a brief conversation about it.
right? Like, yeah. So for those that weren't, for everybody that wasn't there, we kind of mentioned how all dogs, in a sense, now, and this is, I'm not the first person to think this way. I just kind of heard it somewhere else, but all dogs, domesticated animals rather now, or stem from the animal that needed a human around to stick around. So what I kind of mean by that is, they started as wolves, and we're talking about dogs, hunting packs, these big, powerful creatures. But if you're a wolf that hunts in a pack and you're the leader of your pack, you don't necessarily need a human or want to be quote unquote man's best friend, right? But the ones that maybe got, I don't know, kicked out of the pack, the ones that couldn't carry their own weight, maybe the kids with problems or injured pups or whatever the case may be, the dogs that, hey.
Okay, all right. He can't stop whining.
I didn't mean to talk shit about you, buddy. I'm sorry.
He can't hear you. It's okay. Everything's in my headphones. Puppy. This dog, man. He's gonna.
But yeah, you just come from a wolf that couldn't do shit,
This is the most dependent animal in the world. That's not food.
Yeah.
That's not food.
Oh wow.
He's such a. Aw. Yeah. He when we
love dogs, man.
Yeah, he's cute. All right, you can go down, but you gotta stop whining. They say that dogs and kids aren't the same. I disagree. There's a lot less liability with dogs because you can't go to jail for most of the things that you can go to jail for kids with, but and most of the time, man, kids aren't gonna be like. Well, dogs aren't gonna be like getting me in millions of dollars in trouble. Like as a 18-year-old male, do you know how much damage you can cause financially to your family?
Yes.
Oh my god. That's people are like, have kids. I'm like, bro, if you were me, you wouldn't be saying that. Hell no. Nah.
I mean, if we're gonna have this talk, right? If a dog was a kid, you're not gonna throw your kid a slab of cheese on the ground and be like, "Good boy."
That's true. Okay. All right. So that's actually a really good argument. That's probably one of the first times I've heard like that comparison when I'm like, kids and dogs are the same. But no, you're absolutely right. I think
you're taking care of it, but no, you're gonna if you have a child.
The mechanics.
Let's talk about infant. Let's talk about infancy. Like, your dog is not sucking on nipples.
I mean, not yours.
No, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
lot less.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're just so well. I mean, that's why you get a dog for your dog. I think I posted this on Twitter. You just gotta get a dog for your dog at this point.
That's almost like a kid, because that's like 2 dogs, which equal 1 kid.
It's such a fucking. It's a job, but did you bounce that out, or did you find that thing?
Yep, texting it to you right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah. I'm gonna play this. Can I download it?
Still relatively raw, but they will get the idea.
Yeah.
Thou shalt get the idea.
It's only a minute long?
I just bounced out the part with vocals.
That makes sense. Hold on. Oh, it was just that one. Okay. Because I remember you were writing the rest of it. I just didn't know if you finished. But no, there's more to be done.
Oh, no. Okay. I get what you're saying. I wrote, like the fast part you were referring to?
Yeah.
At the end of the last stream. I had something, but I never went back and did it. Because I've been very busy.
Yeah, no. I mean, me too. It was, It's a lot of work just being an artist these days. I feel like if you're an artist, you get it, but if you're not an artist, you're not. You don't get it. Like back in the day before Instagram, Snapchat, all that. I mean, Facebook even when it was just Facebook. Like, oh, I'm gonna post an event on Facebook events, and that was kind of like it. I feel like
Right.
just to be relevant and to reach your audience, you have to do so much more. Like you have to be an entertainer, you have to be, I mean, which most artists already are, but you also have to be your own camera crew, you have to be your own sound tech, you have to be your own marketing manager, your own A&R manager. Like there's so much to it that it requires a lot of extra work that I think that most people miss. Like I think that it at one time you could be an artist by just making good music or just by like being a good vocalist and having a good producer kind of thing. And then you would go to your label and all that stuff, but it's not like that anymore. And I don't think I haven't found a reason to sign with a label yet because everyone I know that signs with labels like, yeah, that was not worth it because they end up owing money because most of the time when you get in advance you have to pay that back and then they own your
Right. You're
masters
kind
and
of owed. You're supposed to recoup in X amount of time, and then if you don't, you're just in
I
debt.
mean look at Lil Pump. Lil Pump's a great example. They signed him, Atlantic Records signed him for 8 albums and they've only got like 2 out of him and I don't, what does he have? He just has a bunch of jewelry and I don't even like, he's gonna have to sell it just to make that money back at the end of his 10-year contract. So it just doesn't, for me. I'd much rather do it kind of what we're doing and like mint an album on the blockchain. So make it an NFT and get rid of the distributor altogether. We don't need, I mean, not the distributor, sorry, the label altogether. We can be our own label. And in some cases
Yeah,
we already are.
you're very right. It's interesting. I mean, this conversation can go a lot of ways. Um, the way I kind of look at it, because people have asked me, would you sign? Would you sign? It's hard to say no as a guy in my position, because if you think about it, well, let me rephrase that. It's hard to say no if the offer is even in the ballpark of reasonable.
Well, it depends on what you're negotiating and what you end up like landing on and for how long. There's a lot of pieces to it, right? But I think that
this is kind of my point. So the way I see it at this point in my career, and really at any point in my career, I don't have a problem being independent because I've learned how to do it that way from the beginning. I never had the goal of I need to sign. I never worked towards get noticed by a label. That was never really something on my mind at all. I was never like, oh, I need to go here and meet this A&R and do this and that.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, say independently, I build, I amass millions and millions and millions of streams and, a couple 100,000 Instagram followers and yada, yada, yada. And, people love me and love my music. And then a label reaches out and says, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars for something reasonable, like a year and a half, 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
If what they're asking for from me within that time period sounds reasonable, I don't really see myself needing to say no, mostly because I can kind of use that time period to propel the rest of my independent career, after those 2 years.
So you would use the money to live off of and plan on making that back in that time so that it would be, the loan would be worth it because it would allow you the freedom of time?
Close. The loan would be worth it because it would give me the exposure that would eventually lead to me being able to make tenfold what the loan was.
Okay, so giving yourself a platform to then elevate yourself even further from. So you're not starting from the grassroots TikTok, like viral, like just kind of hoping to make it.
Right, exactly. Which is like you could say the lane I'm going now, not like, oh, I need to make a TikTok song, but more.
I mean, internet fame. You're. In other words, it's not a talent rep that came and said, hey, "Yo, listen to Cloudy." It's people being like, "Oh, I found him on whatever Instagram, whatever social media,
right.
Twitter, or I found him through an NFT that we were listening to, like that kind of thing." So, I think it's
right, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
So I don't, DistroKid and United Masters are great in my opinion. I think like that is the Web 2 version of what we're talking about in a sense, because it kind of lets the independent artists be who they want to be. You don't have to, follow any guidelines, drop X amount of projects a year. You pay fucking at most like $150 a year, and you can be your own label on DistroKid.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So I like that for a lot of reasons, but primarily because they give a lot of what they call goodies to the independent artists. So there's like, when you drop a track, they create promo cards for you. They create like content for you, like videos that you can put your music to if you don't have time to go film. They create like hyperlinks for all your stuff. They like various things that they can do. About? Yeah, DistroKid does a lot for the artist per release.
And this is
even for the most basic package. Yeah, bro. Like for one, I have a couple various DistroKid subscriptions, but like for my most basic one, which I have for Cloudy, it's literally $20 a year. Swear to God. And from that, you get all of this. You can release music anytime you want. The only reason I upgraded is because with that, you can't schedule a release. You have to like go based off. You have to drop, and then like it might hit DSPs in
yeah, it's based on like the
4 or 5 days.
Time, yeah.
Right. So I pay some like $50 a year. That's why I say at most $150 for the label package.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, you get a shit ton of what they call goodies, right? And I'm a fan of that mostly because it saves me time that I can go spend on other things, right? So, I don't, how do I want to put it? I've seen and have researched and have worked at and plan to keep working at a multitude of pathways to success in this industry that don't require a label.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, if one comes knocking with a reasonable offer and a very reasonable time frame, I'm not going to say no, because a machine is always better than me.
I mean, they got the playlist, Spotify, the
right.
Spotify playlist. They've got, or they have all the connections. I was going to ask you about this. I don't think we've talked about this. What's your perspective on sync licensing? Do you know anything about it?
Ooh, okay. I know a lot about it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Can you narrow down the question at all?
Yeah, of course. So in terms of sync licensing, like, do you feel like it's a lucrative avenue for your average producer, artist, or somebody that's looking to make a career in music with?
What is or what do I feel?
What do you mean?
Because my answer would be yes, and I can expand on that. But is there another opinion?
Well, no, I'm not saying like, do you think it, then yes. If that's the answer is yes, then why? Like what do you think is the benefit to sync licensing, and where do you see it as a? Why do you think yes? I guess is a better way, because I'm curious like what your perspective is in general.
I think sync licensing provides how do I put it? Like a package of benefits. So one, it's a decent chunk of change if you're not getting fucked by your publisher. Two, it's probably the best form of exposure aside from a fucking billboard on Sunset Boulevard. Like you are literally in something that people who have never you're being put in front of people who have never heard of you and never seen you before, and you're being put there because your music was better than everybody else's, and somebody big wanted to pick you up. So it kind of like it does two things, both within the industry and outside of it. It puts you in front of the masses. Say you're in like a blockbuster film, right?
Mm-hmm.
It puts you in front of the masses, so you get a lot of exposure in that realm, and then you're in the end credits and da 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 da. Also, as artists taking this like a career, taking this as serious as any other career, we have a resume, or we have a catalog, we have a portfolio. That's a huge, huge piece of leverage for that resume, for that catalog, for that portfolio. So if you take, I put music, I had an end credit song in the last Spider-Man movie, and you take that to Wendy's and say, hey, I want to work on your next ad. They're going to be like, okay, he has something to back him up. And you do that for 5 15, 50 different fast food chains, 5 of them are going to hit you back because now you have something to show for yourself. It basically gives you like a step stool in a sense, like within the industry of sync licensing to be placed in something. To your first point, it is aside from touring, the most traditionally lucrative pathway in music as well, because it's a consistent check for one. Hopefully, again, if your publisher doesn't fuck you in the ass, and it is it's usually a decent chunk of change, at least in the beginning. Like assuming the project you're in does shitty, right? You're still gonna get like, say you know, what did I say? Spider-Man. Say like Warner Bros is paying your publisher $70,000 for a song from you, right? That you've already produced, and that's the other thing. This is I'm sidebarring, but you need to already have a catalog out to be able to be a viable option for sync licensing.
That part,
right?
Yes.
So if you don't put out music, don't expect anybody to call you, whether it be your best friend or Netflix, because nobody gives a fuck. Like, you need to have a variety of sounds that people can hear that are good in different genres of music. If that's really the pathway you want to take, like me personally, I would love that. But I care more about my creative vision than being placed in Spider-Man. So I'm not going to like randomly put out like an orchestral piece of classical music on, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that is definitely an option. And if that's what you do, if you are just purely a musician who can do it all, let people know, put that shit out, get feedback, you know? But I kind of sidebarred. So, Warner Bros. Is not going to come to your publisher and say, we want an original work from this person. They're gonna say, we want this song because we like it a lot. We want second 32 to second 108 of this song, right? And they're gonna pay anywhere from whatever to whatever for it. Ideally, right, if your deal is okay, you're gonna get at least 40% generously.
All right.
But you know what I mean? Like 40%, you know, as an independent artist, maybe signed to a publisher but not a label, 40% of $80,000 is a good deal for you. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna continuously get residuals as this plays in all theaters. Then when it goes to Apple Music and yada yada yada, your music is there. That 40% is probably going to stay. Stay around in perpetuity. So your publisher is going to continue to get 60, and you're going to continue to get 40. But that's a steady 40.
Right.
That's another thing that people like. I'm sure everybody's heard the phrase, you know, I want to own my masters and shit like that. So, you know, your publisher in this case got you that placement. But your publisher owns your masters, which is why the publisher takes the majority, because without them, you would be nothing in that realm, right? But
you can.
I'm just gonna fucking shamelessly plug myself. Say again?
You can multi-sync it though. You like if the publisher owns the master, but you end up the publisher isn't just gonna put it on one track if it can be on multiple projects.
Right.
But
right.
Anyway,
so that has to do with like. Sorry. Say the last sentence one more time. I cut you off.
No, I said shameless plug. I cut you off. You were gonna do a shameless plug.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and then I'll do the shameless plug.
All right,
good. It depends on what you just said. Kind of depends on a contract's fine print, really. Like if you're going to license out a piece of music in perpetuity, which means forever, then that company, whether it be Warner Bros., Starbucks, or you know the guy down the street, owns that thing in perpetuity forever, and they can use it wherever they want. But that's, you know, everything depends on what you write in your contract. So you could say in perpetuity for this ad only. So if you make an ad for Chevron, they can only use it in perpetuity for the 2019 Chevron.
Gotcha.
Right? So anytime they advertise that car, they can use your ad, but beyond that, they can't. Or you can get hella specific. Anytime you use this specific clip within this ad, you can use my music, but otherwise, no. You know, it all depends on what you want to write. But long story short, it if you're the artist, make sure you're around when your publisher is writing up a contract. That's all I have to say about that, because you don't know exactly what they're going to propose, and if you don't like what they're proposing, whether it's going to bring you a lot of money or not, it depends on your morals and what you care about. Where you care about your music. If you don't give a fuck and you made music to make money, then let them do them. That's what you paid them for. But if you have more, if you care a little more about where your music is and why it's used, and maybe you wanting to use it other places, then I'd say be more involved. Shameless plug. I own a company, started a company called Jingle, JNGL. What we do is this, but it's a little different because we have companies come to artists for original works. So rather than needing a catalog out of things that you have already gotten published, you can just be an artist with a regular catalog of your music. And we find, my team and I, clients for you who need whatever, whether it be a backing track, whether it be a soundtrack, whether it be an instrumental, whether it be you writing lyrics, whether it be you making a beat, whether it be you beating on your table and recording it. They might need something from you because they like you. We make sure that the contract is written up in your favor. And the shiny part is you own a part of that music, a much larger majority of that music, because it's an original work than you would going through a publisher, anywhere from 60 to 90% of that, depending on how much they want to own. We only keep 10% for doing our job, and a little, rate hikes here and there for the client, not for the artist. But, I kind of saw a gap in the publishing industry for original works. So that's kind of where my mind was headed with Jingle and why I try to pursue that. Bringing myself back down to earth for a second, as an independent artist, a founder of a company, a student, and a guy trying to make all those things affordable. It's not easy, but I'm doing my best. But, my shameless plug is essentially if you're an artist or a person looking for music, I can pretty much help you out in both realms.
I can put my stamp of approval on that, because I've definitely seen and been a part of that business and service, and it's good stuff.
It's interesting though. A lot has I don't want to use the word changed, but I'll say evolved since cinematic, and it all kind of really stemmed from a 45-minute conversation with an entertainment lawyer, as most things do.
Okay.
But basically I went in there because I started months and months and months ago, in like probably about a year ago, like March of 2022. I incorporated around March of 2022. I was doing a lot of research, and in April I incorporated this company called NFT Jingles, which is what our tape is put out under. And the idea behind NFT Jingles was essentially turning artists like us into metaphorical baseball cards, into playing cards. So I think I might have broken this down to you a while ago, but you offer your playing card to whatever company while they hold that card for whatever period of time decided upon in the contract. They say, we want this type of original work from you. You create it. When that contract is up, your playing card leaves their wallet, right? And they can no longer ask you for any more work, but anything you created for them, you own a part of it, they own a part of it, kind of dipping our toes in sync licensing a little bit. After bringing that idea to this entertainment lawyer who was kind enough to talk to me for free, he essentially said, you're doing too much, man. Why not just sell the music? Why are you selling people? It's kind of weird. And
True.
I was like, okay, that's fair. And I was really, because I'd had a lot of conversations about it. I'm not a fan of yes men, so I'd ask people to, bring up controversy, and I was relatively confident and good at, offering points that made a lot of sense, and I was confident in myself. But I'd never talked to somebody familiar with the law in this industry as familiar as he was. And when I did, it made a lot of sense in terms of legal ramifications that might slow me down in the future doing stuff like this, in terms of how much does this person own, and how long were they really working for them, and how do we know that they weren't working for them when this was made? And that's just scratching the surface. But
it's messy.
So I kind of reworked it to using NFT tech to protect the work as opposed to sell the person, which sounds horrible. So now, I find a client, I find an artist creates work for client based on client request. The way that work and that money are transferred is using an escrow wallet. a smart contract that determines the terms that I kind of talked about earlier, all the intricacies of sync licensing and where it's going to get placed and for how much and for how long and things like that. But more of the work or more of the tech is associated in the asset swap as opposed to, attached to a person, which makes the whole process a lot simpler, and still kind of solves the same problem. So that is how we changed, or that's when I decided to switch from NFT jingles to JNGL jingle, because I felt like I could kind of expand that a little bit wider to different genres of clientele.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I remember the rebrand, and it's cool. I think it's important when you notice those things to make that change, because I find that some people are so stuck to the idea that they've made, or this brand or this persona, whatever it is, that they stick to it because that's what they've done for the last 3 years or 10 years or however long.
Oh man, I've felt like it was almost a sign. I forget. I know we might have talked about it a little bit. Are you a religious person or no?
I mean, I have a God religion tattoo on my wrist.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, yeah,
okay.
I've read the Bible.
Okay. Felt like I was getting a lot of signs, some very directly, some indirectly, not to love my baby too much. In the sense of, NFT jingles was my baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot wrong with it. No matter how much I wanted to say there wasn't and try and fix the problems.
But you knew
I was fixing problems that
You knew there was problems.
Yes, and I was fixing them thinking I had to fix them, when in reality I realized, no, I can just change this thing and this won't even be a problem.
So it's almost like you're addressing like the problems instead of the actual like issues that the whole like structure had. Like it was a structural issue. It wasn't like a yeah.
Right. It'd be like if it's a stupid example. It'd be like if the guy who made this said we have to put the power button in the middle, and there are too many buttons on this thing, so what we have to do is make the remote longer so we can fit more buttons, because the power button has to be in the middle. So this thing is going to be about 13 inches long because the power button has to be in the middle, and there have to be a lot of buttons so that the power button can really react correctly, when instead you put the motherfucker right here.
Got it.
See what I'm saying?
Well, it's like scratching your ear like this instead of using your
exactly.
So doing a lot of extra.
So once I knew that and didn't know that, because I come from a world of hustling, but I don't really come from a world of businessmen, so to speak. So
you're like a hard worker, and smart work is more
like I'm a hard and a smart worker. I'm not lazy by any means, but I also was uneducated in the realms of how to properly, run a business and pivot within one, right?
You don't know what you don't know.
So thankfully, I'm a major planner. So I never, up until, the last month or so, when I really felt solid about what I have going on, went out to a large group of people consistently and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Here's what I can offer you. I never did that because I needed a more solid foundation. And I felt myself building this foundation for way too fucking long for a business that doesn't need that. All I needed was a website, a template, and a couple artists, which I already know, right? To say, hey, I can offer a client this, custom music from a startup brand to Netflix, right? Mm-hmm. But when I had this idea in my head that I needed to use tech in a certain way, and I needed to be so novel that nobody could even understand what I was doing, that's when I kind of realized it was a problem, because I'm like, wait, I'm just being unique for uniqueness' sake, which is stupid,
Yeah, I mean, it's like those big red boots. They're not functional. They're just unique.
I know you bought them though. You love Mischief, bro. Did you buy them?
I love Mischief. No, I actually I was low key like shook that they got so much attention, but apparently the reason they got that much attention is because that's the new meta. Like, that's the new way that clothing and fashion is heading. It's heading to a degree of cartoonism. So, like, Prada's already released a line of puffy bags where it looks like the bag itself has been blown up with air. It's almost in a cartoonish way. It's actually really, really cool.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I feel like it stems from, it's like we know this with fashion. Fashion goes in like cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so Now it's fashionable. Like let's take it back to the early 2000s. Baggy shit was huge, right? And then, 2010, 2012, 2015, skinny jean era, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're kind of moving, all through the 20 teens. And now we're kind of back into this realm of, I've noticed a lot of, even in some of my like fits that I put together, you get baggy on the bottom and tight at the top, almost like a cartoon character.
Yeah,
Like
exaggerated.
big ass legs.
Yeah, like very
Yeah,
drastic,
like just everything's
dynamic.
kind of, yeah, man. But I don't, how I put it. I don't mind it, but I feel like people that do it just to do it are like if you're gonna wear those mischief boots with like a regular outfit, you're kind of I wouldn't get down
No,
on that.
yeah. I mean, it's like people that wear Yeezys with like just regular jeans and like a polo. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
if that's you, like, do your thing. But I see people wearing them to like their day job at the office. I'm like,
right.
you just want to wear the Yeezys. I can tell. It's okay. It's okay. But like, just like
Yeah,
know
that's
that
what
it's
I'm
part of
saying.
the fit. Like, yeah, the Astro boots need to be styled, and like the ones that I see that pull it
Right.
off, they're styling it, and they're only wearing it like once or twice. They're not like, this is my identity now.
It's funny too because I have a friend who like the best way I can describe him is like as long as I've known him, he's been wearing whatever the fuck he wants so he can pull it off because that's just his shit. Like he will put on, he can put like me personally. I have more of a best way to describe it would be like fly but tapered.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I kind of like a clean cut look,
Yeah.
but I still throw the streetwear in there, but it needs to be clean cut.
Right.
No matter what even if it's baggy shit, it needs to like have like it needs to be look clean.
Yeah.
With him, it's like he'll wear like Givenchy jeans with the Eiffel Tower and bedazzled fucking Swarovski crystals all over them, and like a Moncler puffer with diamond chain, like a red Moncler puffer, and like shoes that look like bears, and a ski mask with like a do-rag on top of it with a hat backwards, and like a long sleeve t-shirt with sleeves that come off, but he'll pull that shit off.
Oh my god, that's so much.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't. It's hard to even describe, but it's like the way he just puts that shit on is never fails.
So there's almost like a style
everybody
to
can't
that.
do that.
No, not everyone can. It takes a level of confidence, but like you have to really be into the way that you feel and look to be able to pull that off confidently. Because I feel like there are lots of people, including myself, that have tried that, and it's just so bad. You're like, I'm gonna wear what I want. You can't tell me anything, and it's like, bro, I get it. I hear you. Wear what you want. I'm not telling you not to, but I think that there's when you okay, I have two tangents I'm going to go on, but I'm just going to take one. But basically, I think that when it comes down to fashion, I think it's important to understand at least enough about how the outfit that you choose is like flattering your style, like your aura, if you will. I'm not going to say like your body, like you got to wear fitting clothes. Like no, like whatever, do what you want. But in terms of like if you're a flashy loud person and like and you want to wear flashy loud clothes, go ahead. But if you're like a super like shy and you're like slouchy and you're not gonna be wearing this like bright back like very like edgy clothing, and that's okay. Like I think that it's really easy, especially with social media, to be like, oh, Supreme made this thing, I'm gonna wear it, and like I'm guilty. Like I thought that it was cool to wear like this and that because it we're told to like it, I guess. And once I realized that whole like what's it called? That whole like mindset. Honestly, it took me like buying the flashy bag, like really like trendy clothing for me to be like, this is dumb. This doesn't fulfill me.
That's very true, bro. That's very true. I'm not gonna lie to like when I was a lot younger, I had the luxury. I had a roof over my head and food on my plate, so I had the luxury to spend any money I made on what I wanted,
exactly,
which was clothes at the time.
Yep.
And all like I wasn't making a lot of money. I'm 14, 15, 16, but I'm like
no bills.
Every
so
fucking
all
dollar
going
I
to clothes.
save, bro. Grailed has made so much money off of me. You have no idea.
Oh, and they're expensive for no reason.
bro, look, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lie. I still wear some of the shit. It's still fly.
Oh,
but
it still pops, but
like,
still.
The investment I've made into my wardrobe, I'll never regret. But it's a lot.
Well, but okay,
luckily,
it's not. But do you realize through having it that that doesn't bring you the fulfillment that you potentially thought it did? But here's my counter to it is that me
Okay.
personally, and I think that you'll agree, is that when you have an image of you in your head, some of those clothing items are part of that, and when you wear them, you feel more like yourself than you would if you weren't wearing it. Like it brings that image of yourself in alignment with the actual person that you are in physical reality.
I'm really happy you brought that up. I would have agreed with you
But
as soon as a couple months ago. I feel like no, not you. Like within the last part of okay. I'm speaking in sentences. Speaking like a whatever you call that. Okay, what am I getting at? I used to feel like just like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was outside a lot. I'm a little younger. I'm like, all I really care about is going outside, partying, and having a good time.
Yeah.
Right. When life gets a little more serious, I start going outside less. I'm in the house more. I'm working more. I don't feel the need to put the shit on anymore, and I don't feel like myself anymore, and I don't like it. So I start working on myself and like really trying to build this confidence up. This really like the self-esteem is kind of different. The confidence, build my self-esteem up to the point where I can be walking around the house in boxers and mixed matched socks and whatever the fuck I want, but I still feel like the dude who was in that, Prada, in that whatever, and talking to who and talking to where, and or, it doesn't matter. I feel like the best version of myself all the time. Now,
yes,
clothes don't hurt. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say I would go out in public butt naked and feel great. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. But that time in my life definitely did help, and it was evident even in like I went out last night with a friend, and I was finna just go link with my girl, but then that didn't happen, and he's like, no, we should go here, like meet some people. So I'm in like what I call the link with her outfit, right? I'm in my like real chill shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's still fly, but it's like it's chill. Like it's not the go out outfit. It's like when you walk through the door, you're like, okay, you look nice, like one of them outfits, right?
Yeah.
So we go out because I've developed this mentality that took a while because I used to only care about clothes. I was still kind of able to do my thing and move around the club and do what I had to do because of that. Like I actively thought about it in my head. I'm like, I don't feel like my clothes represent necessarily who I am right now, so I got to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think that's a very valid point, and I think for me, I had to hit both extremes. That's just kind of how I operate anyway. I had to hit both extremes to really find my middle ground. So like I will go out and I'll go to the store. I'll even go out to an event. Shit, I'll go to a bar in like joggers and like my beat up Vans and like a black plain tee and feel just as confident if I was wearing like my full off-white drip and all that stuff. But then I also love to go to like Target or the grocery store just dripping for no reason.
Speak on it, man.
It
okay,
is
I'm
so
not gonna lie
fun.
to you.
And no, like 3 people see it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going home now. But honestly, like that, I think what you hit the nail on the head. I think you have to like, I think for me and people in this kind of industry, especially once you like realize that you are the fly person and that the clothing, all that does is either accentuates you negatively or positively. Like if you're insecure, all that clothing is going to do is accentuate your insecurities. Like I can tell you if you're dripped out and you're just not secure with yourself. You're like these clothing I can tell if you're waiting for me to acknowledge the fact that you're wearing Gucci pants. Like
those people are funny as fuck though. I'm not going to lie to you.
You see them in the airport. Just go to the airport anywhere.
I used to like videotape it when I was young and like had Snapchat and stuff. I'd like
look at this.
I swear to God. I'd record it and I had like this caption I'd always put next to it. I'd be like, I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. I'd be like, this is not meant for you, or like some bullshit like that. I'd be like, when the drip doesn't match or some shit like it'd be like a lady with like 4 kids and her husband is in like the worst outfit you've ever seen with like some beat up New Balances on, but she has like the flyest Louis bag that just came out.
Oh God, yeah. It's just, well, so like
You know what I
more
mean?
power
It's
to
like,
that, but it's I hear what you're saying. Like I saw this dude that was like wearing like he had like all Gucci, literally Gucci, the Gucci print pants, and then he had like but it was like your boy, but it was like even like more extreme. It was almost like he went
mm,
through and went to Chat GPT and was like, Chat GPT, what is the most commonly worn outfit in every rap video? Please tell me. And it would be
yeah.
like, this is what you need to buy. And he was like, all right, bet. Handed this to a personal
What
shopper.
do they have on the Gucci mannequins?
Yeah, exactly. And it like
Yeah,
more
man.
power to you, but I think that those like that like I think we all go through that. Like I think for me personally, I've went
Yeah,
through that where I had to like dress in the most ridiculous clothing and try to be the most like ridiculous person that I thought I was supposed to be, just to realize like that's
right.
not me. And then when you spend enough time alone, which we talked about this last time, when you spend enough time alone, you realize that like you don't need all that stuff, and all that stuff does either, like I was saying, is accentuate how insecure you are or accentuate yourself. Like when you don't have it or have it and you're the same person, it you're able to not feel a certain way, like you were saying. Like I think you have to like be okay with yourself, and then when you go out and you're wearing a little less, then you're still at par because of the confidence and the mentality you carry with yourself. Because it like I think your mentality and the confidence you carry are just as important as the clothes you wear. I think they both send a good message, and I don't think you can have one without the other. Like I think if you're dressed like a scrub and your mentality is sharp, you might be able to pull it off. But I think if you're dressed like a scrub and you're pretty insecure and your mentality is not quite there, you're gonna fall, and that's okay. Just get better.
1000%. I think sometimes you have to prove it to yourself.
How do you do that?
Like last night, right? I'm in this outfit I'm not a fan of, but I make sure before I leave I mac on what I think is the prettiest girl there, and I do a good job. And it's like
Mm,
my mental way of telling me like it don't matter. You know what I mean? She was still fucking with you. So like
I like
that
that.
that kind of like just sits in my head. It's like you still him, is in you, not on you. You know?
That's fire. I like that. I like that. Hell yeah, man.
And that's not everybody's lane. Don't do that. But
Yeah.
do what you got to do.
Be
You
you.
know?
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so all right, let's do some music stuff. We were talking about playing some tracks. I don't think I've played you some of the tracks that I've made, but we'll go back and forth. I'm gonna play this track for you that I just made. It's
Okay.
and then I want to hear what you've been working on. How's that sound?
I can't hear anything.
No, I didn't. No, I'm saying like, how's that sound like a plan? How does that sound to
Sounds
you as a
perfect.
person? I can't hear anything. Oh man, that was so good. Okay,
That was great. Man. That shows you that we're shell shocked.
that,
That I'm shell shocked.
yeah, it was that good. All right, so this track was really fun to make. I made it pretty quickly. Somebody had asked me to make like a dark pop track, and I was like, oh, I've never done that, but sure, I'll give it a shot. And then I ended up making it as like a synthwave track. But then I
Okay.
took all the synth wave parts out and replaced it with more of like an organic, like so instead of like a synth guitar, I put an actual like real acoustic guitar in. So but yeah,
Okay.
this is what I came up with. It's pretty unique. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but here it is. sounds like. I forgot. I think there's like a second melody.
I like this a lot.
It's like yeah, I love this track, man. It's so good.
You know, it's funny. I could see that getting placed in something
That
like a video game.
Oh my god! So it's so funny you say that because the track that I made before this is even more video game. Like when I played it for an AR rep in the UK. There's this NFT that just got minted called Helix, and it was like this UK labels NFT, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do like listening," and anyway, so I sent him in the track, and he literally the AR rep was like, this should be in Netflix. Like, you should try and sync this with Netflix. This track is really, really good. Like, you should definitely have it. Not this one, but the one before this that was very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. But yeah, I found a lot of I really, really enjoy making this stuff, but I only am motivated to make it for other people, which is really, really weird. Like, I had to have someone tell me to make this before I was even gonna try it. And now that I've tried it, I'm like, this is dope. This sounds so good.
The one you just played or the one you're about to play?
No, well, both actually. So what ended up happening is somebody that I follow posted. They're like a rapper, but they're an artist in general, and they were like, "Hey, I'm looking for a producer that knows how to make dark pop." And I was like, "What up? I'm sure I could do it." And then I was like, "Do you have a song I can go off of?" And there's this band called DJO, or a artist. I don't know if it's a band or an artist, but basically I listened to them, and they're like kind of like Gorillaz, but like MGMT meets Gorillaz kind of thing. And that basically he was like, "Yo, make this track," and then I made the track. I sent it to him, and he ended up being like, "Yeah, not what I'm looking for," but the track slaps. So I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just do something with that." And then this track got made because I was like, well, if he didn't like that track, I'm gonna make another track, and I made this track, and he left me on red, so I'm guessing he didn't like it. But regardless, it's a fire track, and I'm gonna do something with it.
Go crazy.
Huh?
I said go crazy.
Yeah, but I gotta find it, but I have a track that I made with my actual bass guitar. Like I have a bass guitar that I used to play, and one night I was like, oh, I think I can plug in my bass guitar to my Focusrite, and then I can just like play into Ableton, and I can record it.
And it worked?
It worked. And I was like, oh, this is dope. And I started playing like riffs and stuff, and I recorded the riffs.
Yeah.
And then I took the riffs and I put a beat around it, and then that was like the first time I had made like what you'll call like an indie hip hop song where it was like emo rap, like Juice WRLD kind of vibes. I wonder if I have. I don't think I have it, but if I can find it, I would love to play it because I really, really enjoy it.
It's interesting. Like the one that you just played for me gives me like That's probably because I was just watching it, but I feel like you could sync very well with The Last of Us. Like it's almost like a dystopian hopefulness to that track.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like
so it's on a weird scale and like key. It's on like an A. Like an A major minor, I think, or yeah, and it's something weird like that. But let me play.
I think I just sent you something through text. You want to see if you can find it?
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Go away. Oh, time flies or time kills.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's play it.
I made this.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you tell me about it, and then I'll play it.
Let me see. I told you already. A friend of mine recently passed away, and I found out in a kind of a weird way at a weird time, and I wasn't really able to slow down, so to speak, to stop and
Yeah.
have a session or really even think too much about it.
Right.
So I was given a slow day, and I wrote this song in an hour, recorded it in 2, and I honestly, from the reactions I've gotten from other people that I played it for, they think it's one of my best songs. But
damn, okay.
I think it say again?
No, I said damn, okay. That's I mean,
Yeah,
I've heard all your other shit, so if this is one of your best, I'm actually like really fucking excited.
I appreciate it, man. It means a lot. But yeah, so I don't know. I think the best music from every artist who really takes this shit seriously comes from times of pain, pain music, and whether, depending on how you put that pain into your work, it can kind of sound very different.
But it can also, I said it can be destructive, but it can also be, it helps you to process as an artist, and especially because artists are sensitive just in general. It helps you to process, and depending on the type of person you are, because like we were talking about this before, like I go toward like the cynical, dark, like cold side, whereas you go towards the like positive, like uplifting, that kind of side. And I think that what you were saying, and I kind of cut you off, but I feel like what you're saying is like it kind of how you shape that pain into your art is kind of what makes you as an artist, but it's also kind of what makes that sound either one way or another.
Agree. This isn't my normal sound with the stuff I have out now and the stuff that I've showed you, but it's the sound I kind of started doing music with when I first learned how to use autotune. I was a big fan of like No Cap and Rilo Rodriguez and Lil Baby and them, so it kind of like it made me, back in that time, it made me want to like pursue that sound, and not necessarily always pain music, but kind of like the darker side of rap music.
Yeah.
Melodic rap music. But this kind of, normally I do go a more uplifting route and a more, smoother route or whatever the case. This song really, bro, is kind of like it was me getting everything out. It was like like a, not even a confession. It was like I'm writing in a diary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Writing in a journal.
You're putting it out into the world, and that's the cool thing about music is it's a universal language. So because of that, you're able to communicate how you feel when maybe you're not able to verbally express it.
That's another very interesting thing. Which you say, artists are sensitive. You're not wrong at all, but I think it's apparent in both of us. I mean, I don't know you as well, but as you go about your day as well, but personally, I don't express. I feel a lot, but I don't express a lot of emotion.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it if I was having a bad day. I'd have to tell you. You wouldn't know it.
Exactly is my point. And the same with a great day.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna know if I'm having. If I just won the lottery, it's gonna be the same. You're gonna get the same person than if I just had something like horrific happen. It's.
I'm saying.
We mask really well. We put a mask on, man. It's a mask, is what it is.
It is a mask. And I think the only thing that helps me kind of be okay with that mask is the fact that I'm very honest with myself. So I'm not putting a mask on saying, no, I don't feel this way. I'm totally fine with the fact that I feel this way. If somebody asks me or if I feel like talking about it, I will tell you everything about how I'm feeling right now. I don't have a problem talking about my feelings. I just don't express them. So I don't talk about them as often because people wouldn't know,
Do you think that's because you don't want to, or you feel like
I feel like it's a like yes, because I feel like when it's not on my time, it's a little pointless. Like if I want to talk about my feelings and it's like, okay, maybe this is okay. Here's a better way to put it. If I expressed as often as I feel, I would be talking about my feelings to everybody I'm with all the time.
I'm laughing because that's so true. Like you would be expressing so much.
I'd be expressing I'd be a waterfall of
emotion. Bro, you'd have no friends. Everyone would be like, that kid is a fucking wreck.
I'm saying, bro, because it like
I'm laughing so hard because I relate with this.
Bro, I'm telling you. And then at the same time, I'm the productive type. Like I feel better when I'm productive. So if I feel like all I'm doing all day with all the homies is spending time talking about why I feel sad or happy or great or bad, like I'm not fucking doing what I'm with them to do. Whether music, make money, talk, like whatever I'm with them to do, I'm not there to do that.
Damn.
So if I like, that's why I say when it's on my own. Like if if everybody's chilling, there's nothing else to talk about. It's like a somber moment. Okay, I'll express what I'm feeling, or vice versa. If it's a great moment and nobody's got some shit to do, I'll express what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But if it's like, if it's a moment where there's some shit to do and I feel a certain type of way, that certain type of way is I'm perfectly okay with feeling that. I understand these feelings within myself. I know how to process them because I've spent a lot of time working on that. But simultaneously, I don't need to be like, yo, I'm processing sadness. Let's get to work. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna ruin the mood real quick, everybody. I have problems that you need to hear. Like,
right. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? So, even if I like the day I found out that the homie died, I went to a session with some people I haven't seen in a very long time, and I was probably like, within that room, I could tell I was the most vibrant one there.
Wow.
Because I wanted to be that. Like I can control my emotions very well. So I wanted to. I felt like he was almost speaking through me. I wanted to uplift. I didn't want that to affect others, Yeah. And I deal with my own stuff, and like I have people I can talk to. I have a great support system, So I don't feel like I can't talk about these things, but there are moments where I just prefer to choose instead of express.
And that's where great music comes from, is expressing.
Exactly.
That's great.
I made this song. It doesn't literally sound like I'm crying, but it sounds like it's a rough song, but it sounds beautiful in my opinion, because it's like I don't feel like I'm not bawling when I'm on the track. And when I left the studio, I went to, see some people I like and good food. Like it wasn't, I didn't feel like I had to get in the zone and like go into my shell and fucking like write in my diary and pray to God and bawl out on my couch. I just made the song about how I was feeling, but I didn't need to put that here.
That's huge, man.
You get what I'm saying?
That's really, yeah, absolutely. That's really big and huge as somebody, just as a person, like being able to have a healthy way to express your intense emotions, whether it's good, bad, and everything in between. I think that that's super important to have, regardless of if you're like an artist or whatever it is, because we as humans, whether it be like we need that. And I think that for me as an artist, I think you hit the nail on the head. If you're truly an artist and you're in this for what it is, the craft, the more you choose to channel your emotions into your music, the better it gets. Like the more you put yourself into it, like and it sounds so cliche to say, but I'm so behind cliches the older I get, because they're just really good advice. And I find that the more you just like, if you're like, oh, I gotta do like this melody, I gotta do this catchy thing, I gotta do like, no, dude, you're gonna mess this up and it's not gonna sound good. It's gonna sound robotic. But if you're just like I'll pull up my piano and I'll just be like, duh, 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 duh. Like I'll just be like playing around, and I'll sing and hum, and like that's what it's all about. Like I think that the biggest thing that, if I could share like what goes on in a studio session, it's a lot of being creative in the most like expressive ways. And that's why studio sessions and studios are so sacred to a lot of people, and they should be, because they're places of safe creation. And you need to be able to like laugh and cry and like be expressive, which laughter and crying is expression of emotion. And that's why I think that it doesn't matter the studio that you have per se. I think it matters the vibe of that studio that will produce the music, because if your studio has a vibe that's off, like I don't think you're gonna be putting too much great like hit music out of there. And again, it could be a bedroom, or it can be like a downtown LA studio that's got multi-million-dollar decks and all the like flashing lights and stuff, or it can be like a well-kept room in somebody's upstairs loft that They've got,
right.
They keep it nice and clean, but they've got a good energy. I mean, I think that you can make the next big hit from a bedroom with a microphone and a laptop.
Oh my God, speak, bro. You're preaching right now. I've gone through phases with this room because I've only been in this house for less than 3 years.
Okay, yeah.
But
I mean, you're still kind of like laying a foundation.
When we moved in here, I never had a studio, so it was like every fucking day I'm making what I felt like were hits. You know what I mean? Because I felt incredible.
Yeah, I mean, when you first get your first studio, this shit's great.
And then it turned into like, I'm supposed to make something amazing all the time, so I stopped making good shit ever.
Ooh, wow.
Because I felt like the pressure every time I walked in here, like I have a studio, I have all the equipment, and now I'm like, I can't make anything. And it like that got so bad to the point where this room, it's dark, the window is the one window, it's like a blind over.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like a prison. It felt like a prison to me. Like, and sometimes I come in here and not make anything, felt like I couldn't leave because I didn't make anything. It was bad.
Yep.
And the progression of that, kind of where I'm at now, is like a mix. It'd be like in 100 years when a rocket ship is going to be a normal form of transportation. The reason I say that is because I feel like this place is a rocket ship in that it's fucking rumbling and it's going to take me somewhere incredible. But I say in 100 years because I let a lot of people in and out of here, so it needs to be like a normal form of transportation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird way to say it, but it'd be like, I don't know. I just look at it like this room is going to blast off and I just need to be in it when it does instead of like this room is going to fucking crumble around me. But
yeah, no, I get you. I totally get what you're saying. But that goes back to like the mindset and the energy that you keep in the room. Like if the room gives you that anxiety, then that's what you're going to produce. You're going to produce anxiety-ridden music. And
that shit sounds interesting.
It's what memes are made of.
That's a good point.
Yeah, when you make music that's filled with anxiety, that's what memes are made of, I swear. Like when they do that, like, oh, he's not texting me back, what is he really doing? And it's like he's probably with other girls and it's like
oh wow.
Just really god awful music. And that's like, well, that's what you get for being anxious. But yeah, so all right, enough chat. I have to hear this track now that we've talked all about it. Let me
go crazy, blast it, man.
Let's fucking go. All right, let me turn this shit up. Wait, hold on. So I don't think it's coming through the stream. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it into Ableton so it sounds right.
Okay.
Wait, where? It's just playing in my ears and I can't find it. Too many windows. All right. So you sent it to. I wonder if I can drag and drop. How does this work? How does one computer? How do you internet? Drag and drop. That worked. Okay. And now we're gonna drag and drop into a new file. Open up an audio track. All right. Yeah, there we go. Is this?
Okay.
Is this? Oh, you would do that shit. Yeah,
what's that?
No, I dropped it onto a track and it took the whole track over. All right.
Oh damn.
Yeah. All right. Let's play it. Let me solo this one. Yeah, there we go.
Hey guys. My soul could come up out of my body, little baby, I don't wanna see nobody else. Only run through these hoes, cause ain't no other way around them. I done built a reputation for myself. And I wanna show the family they gon' feel the way about it. Talk about time heals, no time kills. Did everything it is to do, so I don't feel like I could've kept it bro alive any longer. Tell me why my heart turned into ice in the summer. Tell me why the gas you get me high like you used to. Tell my bro don't get too high, I can't lose ya. Started talking shit to cover the pain. $2,000 I'ma take it to walk through the rain. 10,000 hours of practice, another one game. be okay. Bro said if you can shake back from what we've been through, then you can do anything. I've been him since I found out they wasn't finna say no hell my way. This the type of motion that kill your emotions. This the kind of potion that bring out impulses. This the kind of coping that made me a monster. I started loving everybody, including my mama. Nervous system failing on me. Support system bailing on me. Feel like I'm losing everybody that love me, but I still wouldn't wanna be anybody else. I don't wanna be nobody else, but I wish that my soul could come up out of my body. Little baby, I don't wanna see nobody else. Only run through these halls, cause ain't no other way around them. I done built a reputation for myself, and I wanna show the family they gon' feel the way about it. Time about time heals, no time kills, and everything it is to do, so I don't feel.
What are you gonna do with that? That like I'm like sweaty and cold and like I'm feeling like all choked up and oh my god, that was really good. Like, yeah,
thank you, bro.
No, like oh my god, like I could feel like I almost could feel like I was there. I don't know why, but it feels like I was there. Like I could see like you in the song, I guess would be the best way to put it. Yeah, like I felt you,
man,
in that one.
That's honestly like the best compliment you could have given, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I know I'm putting out a tape soon. I don't know if I want to put that on there because it's not really the vibe of it. It's one of those things that I kind of want to sit on until I see the perfect moment, you know. But at the same time, I don't want to sit on it too long. I just know that, like, there was another song I put out that wasn't on the same type of vibe, but it was another good record called Cut Ties. The video just came out.
Yeah.
But I had that song done at the beginning of 2022. And I knew, like, based on all the people I played it for, the reactions I got, it wasn't like this. It wasn't like, you know, it didn't give people chills, but it was like, when I play it for people, they would almost instantly say, "Oh, you, this is the one." So I needed to like, right. So I kind of intentionally sat on it until I saw a moment. I have like releases slated for the rest of 2023, but I don't have like exact songs because I know I'm going to make more. So I don't know what's going to fit in that spot. So there's a couple of those where I feel like this might be the one that fits in those slots, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I'll just kind of leave it to that because, you know,
I mean, that's how it ends up
the masses
working.
will see eventually. But.
Yeah. No, I think it's important. And this goes back to what you're talking about having a catalog. It's important to capture these moments and act on them when you have them. And I think, Pharrell said it, is that as a producer and artist, you should be creating every day because you're not the same person every day. So what you create is going to be a little bit different. And if you miss a session, you're missing a moment of you that you're not going to have tomorrow. Like, yes, you can be in the studio tomorrow. Yes, you can be, but you're a different person like every hour based on your emotions, based on your like biology, like your mindset, like all of that goes into making music. And when he said that, I was like, wow, so there's so much like wisdom to that. And like, even if you're just in the studio, like you were saying, like you're just sitting there, you don't feel like making anything, the world is crumbling in. Even if you just put something into your DAW, whether it's a lyric or whether you write it, like not even just, I'm kind of hyper focused on the DAW, but bring it back, like as an artist or creative, even if you just write something or just like express yourself or just do something in that day that adds to your portfolio, if you will, then that's kind of where you will see the compounding growth. Whereas if you only choose to do it when you feel like it, and everybody knows, like if you only do something when you feel like it, you're never actually going to get it done. But taking it a step further is like, you're not the same person as a creative every single day. Like what you had for breakfast and the way you feel that day is probably not going to be identical to how you feel any other day that year. And it may be similar and you may get the same sounds, but I can tell you from a producer's perspective, I produce way different stuff day to day. So for me, when I heard that, I was like, I'm almost like cheating myself by not being creative for at least 30 minutes every day. Like, and looking at it from that perspective instead of like, oh, I have to create or else I'm never going to be a successful producer. Like that kind of helped me to look at it in a less, I mean, some people may look at that and like be like, oh my God, that's a lot of pressure, but it's a way of just being like, oh, well, no, I'm an opportunist. I'm going to capture this opportunity with what I have. And you would know this as an artist, like there are times where like you feel inspired and there's times where you don't. And the times where you don't is when you go back to the times that you were. And then,
you know what, bro?
What's up?
I mean, it's to your point. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I feel like you're rambling just a little bit. But you know what I mean? To each their own. When I wrote this song, it is literally exactly what you're saying. I didn't feel like it. I had shit to do. Like I felt like I had to. Almost like I wrote this thing up. It was probably over a span of maybe 2 hours. I'm just kind of sitting, right? And I told myself months ago that as a creative, as an artist, I should be able to create whenever I feel like, or like whenever the time presents itself, whether I feel like it or not. If I want to fucking make a hit right now, I should be able to. That was like the mentality I was.
You and everyone else.
Right. And so I was like not convinced, but like trying to do that all the time. And it obviously didn't work, but at the same time, I kind of gave up on making music when the moment didn't feel right, because I was like, I can only make a good song when the moment feels right. And if I'm being honest with you, like when he passed, I almost feel like I have a partner with me at all times now. So I don't have excuses, but I also don't have like throughout the course of those 2 hours, there was more than 10 times, more than 2 handfuls of times where I was like, I want to stop right now. I don't know if I can think of the next lyric, writer's block, other thoughts. And then the next thought was like, no, I'm doing this. I'm finishing this whole song right now.
Damn.
It was like the choice just evaporated. The other let's go do this just evaporated. There was, this is what you're doing right now. It has to be what it's going to be. It didn't have to be a hit. I don't care who likes it, but it has to be what I want it to be, and it has to sound good to me. And
shit,
that's where it came from.
That is so powerful, man. There's a lot to that, and I think that that's a breakthrough as an artist. And I think that the more of those moments that you have, the more like destined you are to be in an upper echelon of artists. And I don't judge upper echelon of artists by their fame per se, but I think that like for me, and you can argue with me all day, I don't really care, but Russ is a really good example of just putting in the work and making it happen and just being on that level. And another one is Cal Scrooby. Like those two for me, I think that those two, if you haven't heard of either of those, definitely check them out. But they have,
I know who Russ is. But yeah.
Cal Scrooby, you gotta listen, or Scrubby, Scruby. Cal is CAL. They just have so much, and the cool thing is like the fact that you don't know about Cal Scrooby, like he has albums on albums on albums, back to what we were saying about having the catalog, but he didn't make all this stuff for people to like it. He wasn't trying to chase trends. He wasn't right. He was literally just putting everything that was in here and in here into his music, and you can hear it as an artist and like feel it. But there's a lot of people that don't vibe with that because it's not like trap music, or it's not like party music, or it's not like popular, and a lot of the topics are kind of, I guess, not even taboo, but just like it'll make people be like, oh, did he just say that? And it's not in a disrespectful way like Eminem, but in just a way that makes people be like, oh wow, like he has a song about like drugging, like there's a line in one of his tracks where he's like, if you have to drug women, you're a piece of shit. Like that's the lyric. And like stuff like that people are like, oh, I'm not rapping about that, but he's like, no dude, like this is what I'm talking about in the track. And like he's right. But point being, when you yeah, go ahead.
I definitely get your point on both fronts in that I don't have a problem with Russ, by the way, but you know, he was the epitome of putting in the work from nothing, you know. And from what I'm understanding, Cal Scrubby or Scrubby is like kind of the epitome of what I just described, in that he doesn't care what the vibe is. He doesn't care what he's supposed to do right now. If he wants to create a song about a certain thing, he's going to do nothing but that until it's done.
Exactly. And that, like, that,
you know,
that goes for any industry, but especially in the music industry, I think that it's important to look at people like that and be like, no, like, that's what I think it takes. Like, you can, in back, almost bring it full circle to what we were talking about, like, as an artist being like needing to be TikTok famous or internet famous. Like, the more you focus on you and your craft and putting in the work and building your catalog and developing your network, the better off you'll be. Because the more that you focus on the trends or what other people like, or if your fans are there, if you have fans at all, like, the more you care about that stuff, the more you're going to end up in a like despair pit of just like, oh, I'm not happy, because you end up making music that people like, but you don't even like it. And that's kind of where I think that it's important to just continue to be yourself, continue to be expressive, and continue to be kind of an open, like, continue to be the person that you know you can be, and take that with like a grain of salt, because like we all want to be a hustler, we all want to be like the greatest, but like just be good at being you. Like that's kind of where I'm going with this, is like, you and I are talking about different moments that we've discovered where all it really took was just being ourselves and feeling the moment and being present to really like create this art that ends up like being put out there to the masses. And I think that's kind of where we as artists are valuable, because like we may not be doing your taxes, but I think that when you want to feel something, like during the pandemic, I don't think that people were like super happy to have a bunch of like tax documents. They were super happy to have a bunch of movies and art and music and
yeah, you're not lying, because it's you know, it's what speaks to people when nothing else does.
Yeah,
you know,
when life's going upside down, like music and art and just art in general can really keep you grounded and keep you connected to what really matters in life, and what matters in life is what you think matters in life. I mean
that's why certain artists only you know hit for certain people, because it's like what matters in their lives, if their lives are anything like your life, will matter to you, and you know, vice versa. And then it's, you know,
that's your tribe. That's it, man. Like that's
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, dude, you're on it.
And then there's like the whole, I don't know if this is, or I say the whole thing, but it's kind of like this is like other aspects of life too, but not nobody is you, right? And not everybody's going to relate to what you're talking about. But if you can put them in the room with you, that goes a long way, because people want a friend more than they want an idol.
Whoa, oh my God, dude. That was big. People want a friend more than want an idol. If you can bring them in the room with you, that's like, dude, I'm gonna rethink about that. I
don't rap about the shit I want. I rap about the shit I'm going through. Damn. I rap like, you know, I'm talking to somebody.
That's so big. Like I'm gonna definitely like expand on that later. Like the perspective you just gave me is super, like, it's so simple. It makes me so mad when things are that simple and they're just like that, this mind expanding, like, oh my God. But yeah, that's how the most mind expanding things are. They're so stupid simple. But yeah, I man, you nailed it. And I almost want to like cap it off with that, because like I can't say anything that's gonna top that. Damn, dude. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm so excited for like both you and I are so early on in our careers and so early on in like the whole scheme of life that there's a lot more to be done. And like we've been collaborating for like the last year, maybe I'll say like 6 months, like 6 months conservatively, and we've made like what five tracks together already, and like they're all bangers in my opinion, and that's all that matters. So like that's sick. Yeah.
I feel like even though we come from different places and have had very different life experiences, I feel like the way the two of us have decided to cope / see life aligns quite often, and I think that shows itself in the music.
Yep. And for me, that's always been the key, is like using music as a tool, using music as a language, using music as a vehicle, and just being able to not, I think it comes, I'll kind of like top off with this, is like, I think it comes down to being open in the sense of collaboration, open in the sense of ideas, open in the sense of your experiences. And the more open you are to life itself, the more you're able to draw from that and put that into your music. I think there's a lot of people, myself included, that struggle with inspiration, and I think the more open you are to life and new experiences, the more you can draw from that when you're trying to be expressive in your creative sessions. And I think that that's kind of like my whole point with this, is like being open in life, being honest with yourself about the experiences you're going through, and then being able to express that through your art is really what defines the ones who are just kind of doing it because it's cool to do it, and the ones that are doing it because that's what they're meant to do. Like that's your purpose.
I was gonna say you took the words out of my mouth, but like you did if I spoke a different way.
Yeah.
Like I describe that as like people rap music. People become, not everybody, some people choose to become performers. They do the 2 P's. They become performers for pussy. Like that's how you know what I mean? Like that's how I look at it. Like you just want it to be cool. You want it to be cool. So you did what you thought was cool because the people you think are cool do that.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's honestly, like, more power to you, but like that's just, to me, for me, I should say. And like what we were saying about people finding their tribe, and like not everyone's gonna appeal. Like there are people that appeals to, like the fake, just like, oh yeah, I'm cool, we're all having a good time. Like that appeals to a small group of people, or a certain group of people, not even a small group, but like, and that's great. But it's also something that I don't resonate with. I resonate with real art, and art has to come from inside. Like it has to come from like a person going through experiences and expressing that through a medium. And I don't think that if you're doing that to be cool or liked or famous or for money, I don't think that you're going to get the same product. We'll call music the product. I don't think you're going to get the same result. That's a better way to put it. You're not going to get the same result if you're not, it's like using organic ingredients versus like synthesized ingredients. You're not going to get the same outcome in terms of
But like when you get a regular oil change, you go 2,000 miles, but a synthetic one, you go 6,000.
Like you can really, as an artist who is expressive and creates their art through that expression, you can really tell when music was created as an artificial creation versus a expression put through a medium. Like you can tell when it's manufactured, is kind of what I'm getting at. Like radio music is usually manufactured in most cases.
100%. I mean, like the thing is that's hard to, like, I mean, not hard to pinpoint, but it's hard to change because radio music is so statistically successful.
Oh yeah, it's scientifically proven to work a certain way in your brain and be catchy and all that stuff. And no hate.
Right.
It's just something that I don't gravitate towards. I don't listen to the radio.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't strive to be played on the radio. I don't really care to like listen to the radio. So these kinds of things are not appealing to me. But again, the general public or whoever you want to say listen to the radio, like that's on them. But for me, I think that art is raw, and I think that it should make me feel something. And I'm sorry, last time I listened to the radio, I didn't feel anything. I wasn't like, oh yeah, like the only thing I might have felt was maybe like frustration that they were.
Are you telling me that Selena Gomez and Meg Thee Stallion don't make you feel?
Well, I mean, WAP just didn't hit as hard as it should have.
That's not your tribe, bro. What do you mean,
bro? No, I'm not about the WAP. Nah, dude, I honestly, I can't. Some of the art today, the manufactured art is Go Meg. That's all I gotta say. Go Meg.
Go Meg. Man.
You can become famous. That's what you became famous for. I'm doing it wrong. Sorry if everyone that's watching. I'm doing it terribly.
Sorry, it's not for you to do. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's from Meg. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Yeah. I'm done rambling.
It's all good. Do you want to? It's up to you. I figured do you want to play the song one more time before you wrap the stream up, or you want to just wrap it right here?
Play what song?
Time Kills.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna play Time Kills one more time because it's so good, and then we'll wrap it up.
Go crazy.
Let's go. All right, one more time.
Hey guys. But I wish that my soul could come up out of my body. Look, baby, I don't wanna see nobody else. Only run through these hoes, cause ain't no other way around them. I done built a reputation for myself. And I wanna show the family they gon' feel the way about it. Talk about time heals, no time kills. Did everything it is to do, so I don't feel like I could've kept it bro alive any longer. Tell me why my heart turned into ice in the summer. Tell me why the gas you get me high like you used to. Tell my bro don't get too high, I can't lose ya. Started talking shit to cover the pain. $2,000 I'ma take it to walk through the rain. $10,000 of practice, another one game. Don't gotta pretend like I'm different, I'm really insane. I can tell them people what goes on in my brain, cause they light me away. Put all the blame and the pressure on me, I know I'll be okay. Bro said if you can shake back from what we've been through, then you can do anything. I've been him since I found out they wasn't finna say no help my way. This the type of motion that kill your emotions. This the kind of potion that bring out impulses. This the kind of coping that made me a monster. I started loving everybody, including my mama. Nervous system failing on me. Support system bailing on me. Feel like I'm losing everybody that love me, but I still wouldn't wanna be anybody else. I don't wanna be nobody else. But I wish that my soul could come up out of my body. Look, baby, I don't wanna see nobody else. Only run through these hoes, cause ain't no other way around them. I done built a reputation for myself. And I wanna show the family they gon' feel the way about it. Talk about time heals, no time kills. Did everything it is to do, so I don't feel.
And the beat is crazy too.
Bruh.
Not gonna lie.
Did you make that?
No. I wish I did.
I love that vocal sample. Do you know where it's from?
Me too. No, I could look it up, but I don't know.
Damn, yeah, that's fire. But yeah, man, I'm really excited to keep this stream going. I'm excited that this whole rec center thing has really come together. Thanks to everybody that tuned in tonight and anyone who watches after.
Major love to everybody who tuned in.
We appreciate y'all. It's been a great night as always.
I had a couple people call me. I said I'm live. Just go there.
Exactly. If you want to talk to me, come talk to me in the chat. But yeah, man, I appreciate you as always. Appreciate your time. I'm excited to do this again in about a week or so.
Yes, sir.
All right, dude.
All right, brother.
Take it easy.
Thank you.